And what is happening, folks? It is your boy Blake Money, Blake Weather. Welcome to another episode, Unfiltered Bachelor Atlanta breakdown commentary series. It's Atlanta, all the series. We're just talking all things Atlanta until Atlanta comes on next week. Funny enough, for South by Southwest here in Austin, Texas, they have an Atlanta pop-up bar at Higher Ground off of like 7th and Congress. It's dope as fuck. And tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Is tomorrow the 19th? No. 2 days from now. The 19th is Saturday. They are doing the exclusive premiere of Atlanta season 3. I think it's the first few episodes during South by Southwest. So if you're in town for that, if you happen to get a chance to see that, message us. Let us know. Unfilteredbachelor@gmail.com.
If you have a ticket and don't want it, let us know.
Almost.
Slide in the DMs.
You trying to get a ticket, Jeff? I probably could look for one for you.
No, that's cool, man. I got work.
I'm not there, so I didn't. Man, I was doing so well about not missing South by this year until I saw that Atlanta pop up, and I was just like, "Well, damn it!"
And it looked pretty dope as fuck. It reminds me I feel like they did like a European style bar, like what we're going to see on the show. So it looked pretty dope. But without further ado, let me introduce the panel, and then we're going to get to our guest real quick. You know him, you love him. Straight out of the mean streets of Austin, Texas. It's Jeff. Jeff, what's happening?
How's it going, guys? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. And out of the mean streets of Denver, Colorado, you know him, you love him, and he's informing everybody about all things free South by Southwest. Mr. Ballin' on a budget himself, Marcus Miles, Pet Peacock.
It was a lot funny last week when I got our dates mixed up and I put the name on. I was like, "Oh wait, it's not this week. It's next week." Oops.
It's next week. And why is there a Marcus Miles Pet Peacock? Well, let me tell you the reason why. You know him, you love him. We're bringing him back because we're discussing the episode, The Club. It's Mr. Marcus Miles himself, Jeff Simon. Jason Simon. Why did I say Jeff? Because I see Jeff. Right,
it's just merging the two of us.
You know what? We make mistakes, and it's okay. What's up, Jason? How you doing, man?
What's up, boys? Glad to be back, man. Glad y'all to have me, man.
Yeah, man. Welcome. Thank you for coming back. It's your fourth time on the show. I definitely appreciate it. How have you been, bro?
I've been good. Just working. Taking some time off, working on mental health and things of that nature. Was super excited when I saw the Atlanta trailer. Super sad when they said it was going to be 4th season was going to be the last season. And I was like, damn. And they filmed them back to back. But other than that, I've been good though. Can't complain at all.
Did you notice the peacock in the trailer?
Yes, I it's like they continue to use my intellectual property, but won't reward me for it.
They didn't clear it with you beforehand, basically.
That's all good. It's all good. I let it slide. That's gonna be when I make it big and I meet Donald for the second time, but this time as a peer. I'm like, hey man, we gotta talk. Let's sit down.
We're gonna have a discussion. It's gonna be very similar to Clark County, you know.
Yeah. You can either do this or not do it. I'm gonna go outside real quick. You guys get some air.
I'm not the only one with hands. You know?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I love it. Well, so we're gonna break down our commentary. We're gonna do a live, not live, but we're doing a commentary over the club episode. I'm sure you've done this a plethora of times with your friends. I'm just excited that you're taking some time to do it with us, man. I definitely appreciate it.
No problem.
Again,
no problem.
probably your millionth time, but we've still got
It's all
questions,
good.
and the fans got questions. We need
That's
to know
all
some
good.
shit, Jason.
It's fine by me.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and do this. Yeah. So we got the FX logo. We all know what that's like. So obviously, right, that's you in the background over there.
That's me with the big hat on right there, chilling.
What's the story with that hat? You still have that hat?
I don't have that hat anymore. That was a prop hat, so they kept it, and I'm glad they kept it because I did not like wearing that hat. It was not my thing, and that's all you see in the background when they show the wide of the club. You just see me standing out with this big
like a
hat
sombrero.
The silhouette.
on. Definitely giving me future vibes. Definitely future vibes.
Okay, can we pause?
Is that you? Is that no? That's not you over there. That's somebody else with the hat.
No, that's somebody else with a black hat. Yeah.
Those are popular
Okay.
hats now.
Alright.
Well, this is
Question
6
about
years ago.
filming. Where exactly was this filmed at? Was this an actual nightclub?
This is it was a nightclub back in the day. It shut down, and it's in Marietta, Georgia, in a little strip mall that's all shut down, and they just fit it out to be a club.
Okay, so basically it was just like a sound stage. All right.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Because it kind of was like, it kind of looks like it might be an actual club they like rented out.
No, they filmed this during the day. Well, most of
Okay.
the inside of the episode is during the day in Marietta in this soundstage. It's May, hot outside, but you can't run the air conditioning while you're filming
Because of the sound.
Right.
because of the sound. So we're just in there burning. I'm in there with this leather jacket, big hat, just
Man.
burning up, bruh.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I love this scene right here because this dude.
Yeah, you
So
are.
I've always said this is Paperboy never recites his own lines. Like he's never really rapped besides the music video that we see him on, like the first episode or two, right? And besides that, every other time, other characters are reciting his lines to him. And it's so funny. This dude does basically a whole verse and the chorus, and it's kind of hot. Actually, it's kind of hot.
It makes you wonder what the actual song sounded like.
Right, yeah. And I also too from this, I'll say this every now and then. I'm like, I've been running the streets. Like I'll just say that randomly. People are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, watch Atlanta. You'll get it.
I also love that this could technically be one of 28 tracks.
Yeah.
Do you think he memorized all 28?
He had to. He had to, bro.
That's true fan stuff right there.
For real. And Paperboy hates it.
Yeah.
Oh, all of it right now, huh?
Mhm.
Let's see. Okay, so we got this. So this is what the outside of the club looked like.
This would have looked like the second night of filming. We didn't
Okay.
do that because everything
Oh,
from the
there-
first night was all during the day.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's your famous scene right here, man.
Oh.
Marcus Miles.
All right.
Hey! And then Paperboy. I like how the dude in the background over there.
Try to like get in real quick to the
Yeah.
spotlight.
And then now, all of a sudden, Darius starts dancing.
So what's hilarious about that is that while we're filming this, there is no music playing whatsoever.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah.
Right.
So everyone has to pretend that they're dancing. So even Darius, there was no music playing. Lakeith just hopped up and started dancing.
Are there ever points where like the director or someone has to be like, no, you guys are clearly dancing to two different beats. We need you to at least try and get on like this, like
What? It's funny.
No,
you
because
say
even
that,
if you
Jeff.
see that, because just now as he walked by, there was a couple like
They're
slow
off beat.
jamming, and there's another girl like turn. So
Watch this. When you see Chris, he's off beat. Like he's just kind of like off beat a little bit, and I'm like, oh, they couldn't have been playing music.
So what it is, it's a mind thing. Before they start filming, they will play We Be in the City. They'll play that for 10 seconds.
Okay.
Then they'll cut it off. Then they'll cut. Then they'll start shooting. So you have the song in your head, but of course everyone is in a different part of the song in their heads. So everyone's doing their own thing.
I also love this because this is so real. Like you're screaming next to the person next to you in the club.
Mhm.
And then I've had this happen to me so many times. I used to be a club promoter, and I remember just being in the club with my friends and like, yeah, let's go get a drink. And you're following them, and they're like 2 feet in front of you, and then 5 feet, and then 10 feet, and then the strobes are going, and then you look, and you thought you had them in your sight, and then all of a sudden they're not there, and you're like, this club is not big enough for me to lose you. Where did you go?
Right?
Just
You ever
like
been
that,
in
bro.
Kingdom?
What's that?
Kingdom.
Yeah, I've been to Kingdom before.
So like that's like just Kingdom.
That's-
It's a small club, very
But you
small.
can still
So, like,
lose
you
people.
Lose people like nobody's business. I was like, this club just has a dance floor and some bathrooms. That's it. How did I lose you?
Yes. And then you meet up by the bar, and you're like, what? How did what? Oh, I love this right here. So this is where we see over here. But you notice you still haven't opened the bottle either. Was
The
that
bottle,
wrong?
it's an actual champagne bottle, but we just wasn't supposed to open it.
Okay. The invisible
Sometimes
car.
you
I
don't
love
open
this
it.
story.
Oh man.
I love this because this was actually, you said Toyota
It was
Corolla.
the
that You were
invisible
It was a
actually
Toyota Corolla that I'm pointing at and leaning up against. And in my mind, the whole time, I'm like, I'm supposed to be an NBA player. Why am I driving a Toyota Corolla? Made no sense
They'll
to me
take care of it.
whatsoever.
They'll take care of it in post. I
Yeah.
shouldn't worry.
I
Well, I
love that
didn't
the Insta account's still up.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes.
still up.
Yeah.
I check it every now and then, and there are people that have just seen it. Mind you, this episode's 6 years old.
Yeah.
They've just seen it and they comment on it. It's wild to me.
It's hilarious. But that's a feel good moment though, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
they're
it's definitely dope when you go back and people are still commenting, still liking it. Atlanta hadn't take they didn't take it down or anything, which I thought after a while they would have got rid of it, but still up there. I'll get up there and I'll comment and I'll interact with some people and I'll be like, oh, that was me, and they'll be like, oh yeah.
You Jason Miles, you Marcus Miles' brother.
You can legitimately see my face right there on the Instagram post. That's me.
Oh my goodness. I love this scene right here too. Because he bumps into Chris, and I've had a bar owner do this to me before where I've asked him for money. And he's like, yeah, let's pass these shots out real quick to my friends. And they ended up being girls. And when I brought the shots to them, they were like, I was like, oh, here you go, Ashley and so-and-so. And they're like, how do you know our names? I'm like, oh, Adam told me. And they're like, we don't know him either. I'm like, oh, this is awkward.
Are club promoters this slimy in real life?
Some of them can be. I've interacted with, like, as soon as
Some of them
when
can
Paperboy
be,
is like, I don't trust their type, and it wasn't just the Nigerian joke. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't trust their
Nigerian,
type.
yeah.
I don't trust their. I don't trust most club promoters. Most of them are like out to just make. A buck. We don't know him. either.
That look
Yeah,
is
he just
good
slides
as
away.
He fades away into the crowd. Well, like I love how they just make him disappear so good at that camera angle.
Don't Mel going to the club in college and then trying to do it as an adult. The entire experience is just horrible. From getting dressed, driving to the club, parking is $20, to get in is $20, drinks are $20. And then you go through what Paperboy went through in the club, talking to a pretty girl all night, and then she's like, "Oh, you can follow me on Instagram. I have a boyfriend." I'm like, "Well, bitch."
And one thing I always hate is the day after the club when your voice is just gone.
Gone.
You talk to the person next to you, you just had to scream all night.
Nowadays, I'm more like Darius. I'm just gonna dip and go home and play video games.
I love this scene right here. Hey, he knew all the moves.
Now I also understood this thing, and it was just so fucking weird, and it really only happened at, let's just say, a majority of like white clubs or white parties. Someone would always just give me a drink and be like, "Hey, there's the guy," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't really know you, bro, but whatever."
We're
Just a weird
excited.
phenomenon of being
And
that guy.
we want to share our excitement.
What happened, man? What happened was you slippery as fuck, Chris. On the money now,
Oh man.
man.
Yeah, I love that little bit though, where he's like, "I'm that guy. I get 20% of my drinks for free.
Right.
Don't wash your hands. No.
Gonna wash your
No.
hands."
Man, this is such a great episode.
Yo, what up? I'm back. VIP only.
Oh, this part.
Come on, man. You got it, man. Yeah.
So, Jason, did you get to like be on set as they filmed like the rest of this? You were like watching them, just chilling?
I was on set for 3 days, so I could see all this taking place, or I was able to walk up as close to where the director was to kind of watch them interact. So, but the stuff with Earn and the bartender, I wasn't there for, and when they beat up the promoter in the back, I wasn't there for that. But everything that takes place in the club, in this general area, I was there for.
And did you need 2 wristbands to be in there every time?
He's like, "I got a yellow one. I don't know what that does." Oh man. So did they have more close-ups of Marcus Miles, or was everything meant to be like we're the audience. We're meant to see Marcus being like this. He's actually a level above Paperboy,
Yeah.
like in the club, like he's on the second. Well,
We
kind of
initially-
a few steps up.
We initially shot something where I was coming into the club, and they would ask me about a game that I had the previous night. They decided to cut that the day I got there, and decided to go with he had just like you said, he's a level above everybody. You only see the wide shots of him. You never really get to see a close up because this is what the people are aspiring to get to,
Yeah.
so to speak. Especially
Yeah.
Paperboy. He's trying to get to that level, so he can see him. He can see where he wants to be, but he can't touch it.
So is that
That's-
something that's written into the script, or is that something that the director's telling you?
I believe that Hero did that as a stylistic choice, just because you wouldn't have caught that from first watch, but subsequent watches you'd be like, I wonder why they never show Marcus Miles up close or anything like that. It's mostly because they want everyone to feel how Paperboy is feeling in those moments. Like,
I love this dude.
Here it comes.
Marcus Miles got his pet peacock here tonight.
gotta love the jacket. That's what
Did they ever shoot anything with a pet peacock? Did you see a peacock on
No.
set?
there was never a peacock on set. They just did that in the show, and then they had a fake flyer with the peacock on it when they promoted the
shit.
episode. I have that flyer in my phone. I'll send it to you.
That's awesome.
Okay. We'll use it as the promo material for this episode.
Right?
That would be dope.
Jason, now, as the person who has most embodied Marcus Miles, most been in his mind, what do you think the pet peacock's name is?
Giles.
I love
I
that.
don't know why it just came to me. The peacock's name would be Giles, and I feel like he would take the peacock everywhere with him, places that you even normally would not take a peacock.
In the locker
the-
room during the game.
Locked in
Yeah.
the game, sitting
good luck.
courtside, the whole nine.
So we understand, right? The peacock's full name is Giles Miles, right?
Yeah, Giles.
Oh, that's so fantastic.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
And of course, I'm just straight up thinking Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
So now imagine if the peacock's got a British accent.
British accent with glasses and everything.
Yeah.
He's got a whole swag bag. I love it. So did they let you do did they let you have any sort of liberties with doing anything with Marcus Miles, or they just like, hey, we've got this sort of vision for him. I know you think he's a basketball player, and he kind of is, but you're not basketballing anything. You're just in the club.
Yeah, which was wild because my audition was the exact opposite of anything that I did in this episode altogether. It wasn't really much room for anything they wanted to do. When I walked out of the club, they wanted me, they just said grab two girls, and let out this ridiculous laugh as you're leaving as you buy out the bottles. But they ended up just not even using the audio from it, so there wasn't really much to go from, or there wasn't really much leeway. They just wanted to play it straight like it was. They just wanted me to just embody what an NBA player would act like if he was in the club.
That's so funny, dude. Did you become friends with all the extras hanging around you?
No, because so when it comes to extras, you're on set, you're not getting paid a lot. You're mostly doing it because you just want to feel a part, like you're a part of something. But mind you, we're sitting in a soundstage for 8 to 10 hours in May in Georgia, and the pay for extras in Georgia doesn't compare to what it would be in Chicago or Los Angeles or anything like that. So
probably compares to Austin because I think we were 10 for
But
8.
it's 8. It's 64 over 8.
Yeah, 64 over 8.
So you're sitting there for hours on end, not doing anything, waiting to have your moment. My pay was substantially higher than that, and I think a couple of the extras in that little VIP section I was with, I think they gathered that, so they were not too happy that I was being treated differently.
But you're the featured extra though,
Yeah, but they don't, because I didn't have any
They don't like
lines
that.
per se, and they didn't
I'm
have any
not a
lines.
hater like that.
They don't like that.
Yeah,
We're literally sitting there, and the PA comes up and says, if you guys want any water, any snacks, anything, there's a cart down here at the end of the ramp. Just come grab what you need. And then he looks over at me, Jason, would you like anything? And it's just so everyone's just like,
Oh no!
everyone just looks at me like, yo, who's this guy? Like, what the hell? That only made it. That was the start of it. And then when we actually got to break for lunch, and
You got to get
I'm standing in line with everybody with like no problem. And then one of the PAs walks by and he goes, Jason, you don't stand in line. Come around here with us. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm loving it, but at the same time, I'm just like, damn, I look really bad in front of these extras.
Pia walks by, Jason,
inst-
fuck these guys. Come on, you're a real people. Let's go.
You've got speaking lines, Jason. Come on.
Yeah, they did not care. It was one guy I actually knew from an old job of mine who was playing a security guard, but he doesn't get shown on camera at all. And he was asking me, since we were taking forever, since we weren't doing anything for like 4 hours straight, if I could ask them, could they be wrapped? And I'm like, no, I'm not asking that. What the hell? I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid very well. I'm sitting here all day.
Right.
That's an instant way to villainize you in front of all the
Yep.
people.
Well, I love it when it went into overtime because you weren't doing anything. I had nothing to do. I was like, I got nothing to do for 10 hours. That's why I'm here. I brought me a book, I have an iPod charged. Call me when you need me. I never wanted my face to be shown because they use you less. Like if your face gets shown as a background extra. So I was like, no, please make sure you get my back. Make sure you get like the top of my afro. Don't get nothing. I want to come back every day and fill out some random person.
You bought the entire bar.
And then he got the champagne. Why?
The same bottle. The same bottle.
Never opened.
I love it. It looks like he's leaving.
Oh, there's the two.
Oh, there's the two girls. Yeah. This is so funny. They're trying to like juice the rest of that bottle.
It's like, dude, you're broke too. Like,
That's actually the first. When I walked on the set, that was the first thing they were shooting was with a paperboy yelling at everybody to get out of the section. So that was my first time meeting, seeing Brian Tyree Henry was that right there, and I was like, oh,
Was him just raging on everyone? Him
Yeah.
smashing?
yep.
That's so funny.
Wait, let me explain something to you. You know what it takes to run a club? The expenses?
See, this is how promoters really are. They will like tax for everything if they can get away with it. And you're like, flyers, alcohol, what? You did this, not me. I had nothing to do.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a real thing.
Boy, no. Yeah.
And Ern he's so green behind the ears at this point in the season.
He drinks juice, you know.
yeah.
He ate shots.
Nigga, that wasn't the deal. Don't start that with me, motherfucker, because I don't play that shit. That's what I'm paying.
So it's dope to see how at the end of season 2, how he finally kind of manned up. And so it's thinking about how he's going to be in season 3. Like, is he going to be exponentially different? Is he going to be actually that guy now, so to speak, since he made that leap?
Right.
I mean, being from where he is right here to the end of season 2, what he did at the airport, it's just like, whoa.
Completely different. Yeah, completely different.
I mean, based on the trailers, though, he's looking very meek, very timid. I mean, there's that one scene where he gets beat up by those two girls.
Yeah.
And then we see them falling in bed with Paperboy. So, I mean, like, I don't think Ern's got any swag going on in
Well,
Amsterdam.
not so much swag, but just in terms of character development, like he was scared he's clearly taller than that promoter.
Well,
You know,
I love that
he didn't
part.
seem like the promoter didn't seem like he was aggressive, but he was only being aggressive to Ern because he could tell that Ern is in the club with a checkered shirt on. He doesn't look like a regular club person, so he can kind of get away with all that. I don't think he would talk the way of Darius at all.
Oh, hell no.
So for Ern to be how he was in this episode, and then legitimately put a gun in someone's bag at the airport at the end of season 2, that's drastic character change from this point to that point. So it's interesting. He's probably still timid at heart, and he's probably still that more cautious guy. And they're in a whole nother country now.
You can follow me on Instagram.
Right.
Oh, this state.
Well, I have a boyfriend.
This is such an exposition on like the whole like the fakeness of social media.
Oh yeah.
Like the fakeness of just like fronting and stunting and like how it's just like, yeah, you got what you wanted. Like I was in front of people with you and it looked great. And now I got to go home because that's real life.
That's like she's a club girl.
It's the club. People go to the club to feel good about themselves, to have a good time, to stunt.
They should just play Zelda because let me tell you, I feel real good when I beat Ganon.
I don't know if you've ever done
Ocarina of Time.
Hell yeah! They just put the emulator for the 64 on the Switch. I'm all good again, guys.
You're reliving your childhood, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
He only gave us $750.
Dude, this scene.
I just don't scare people like you, man.
I just don't scare people like you.
Well, the issue is like, that's completely true. What could Ern have done back there?
Nothing,
If he
because
wasn't
that's not his
invisible.
personality. That's not him.
Yeah.
It's that nigga birthday, man.
Never even breaks stride.
And this is Paperboy. Paperboy's finest.
Mhm.
Like we've seen him put a gun to a guy's chest. You know what I mean? Like
In the first episode.
yes.
The Paperboy's a thug. See, I thought he had extra security. Where's that extra security? See,
I mean, it's
Right.
not cheap.
This security in this club is horrible because they're not in the office. They're not in the parking lot. Where are they?
Nowhere.
Right. Did somebody get shot?
They
He
lie.
beat up the club promoter and then went outside and chilled by his car.
Until someone else started shooting.
I love that he just slaps him after he gets the money.
With the
With the
money.
money and then steals the bottles. That's wild. That's wild.
I love this commentary right here.
They were still polite. They said, "Have a good night." You know, they were wishing him well.
Boy's gonna be a star.
Oh man. Okay, so we're getting to the infamous scene, Jason, with the invisible car. For those that haven't seen it and you're watching this before you watch the episode, just go watch the episode first, and then you'll see what I mean. But it's one of
just
the
such
most
great cinematography.
it's one of the most infamous scenes from one Atlanta, but two this episode. And the story behind it is they drug you in like a little, what's like a little like go-kart or something? What was
Like
it?
a rickshaw?
So this was probably the biggest fake out that I had on set. So being that I was featured, I was able to roam the set and not stay in one area like majority of the extras. So day two, I was outside for most of the day because we didn't do anything until nighttime. And I'm looking at they had a Lamborghini parked outside, Ferrari outside, G-Wagon. I was like, okay. And they're telling me there's a scene at the end of the night when you will drive away from the club. So I'm thinking I'm driving in one of these cars.
You think you're driving one of those cars? Yeah.
So I'm Snapchatting it, showing it to my friends, like, yo, look what I'm riding in, blah, blah, blah. And then we're inside for the rest of the day. They film some more scenes. Then they call me outside at like 1 a.m. They're like, all right, we're ready to film your scene. So I go outside, all those cars are gone. So I'm like, all right, this is strange. So they introduced me to a guy named Dave, and he's like, you're gonna sit, and it's literally a adult-sized go-kart. Like, not the one that you can literally sit, like a huge, like the size of a car, a regular car, go-kart. And I'm going to sit in the middle of it, pretending to drive, and Dave is going to pull me back and forth. I'm just going to refilm it over and over again. But then we had the whole crane there with the people hooked up to the vest and everything to get pulled as the car runs them over. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Me thinking that they don't want me driving the car because for insurance purposes in case I crash or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So
is that
this is
go-kart
green
covered
screen.
in like green? Right?
So all this was filmed at a different time. They go away, and then so all those cars there are not there right now. All those cars were not there when I just drove by. It
Okay.
was just me in that car, and they just CGI'd the car and Dave out.
And then for those that don't know, again, I'll bring this up. Brian Tyree Henry did the interview where he said they actually ran over those people that looked like they got ran over. They got ran over.
They got ran over. When we did it initially, they had the whole crane and everything attached to these people. I drove by, or I was pulled by, and then they were pulled out the way to make it look like they were hit. And then and then I saw his interview where they redid it again because it didn't look good on the camera. So they actually did hit. hit by a car.
Oh my god.
It was so wild. And
What
I had no idea about. I didn't know anything about Invisible. Nothing. I just was like, okay, whatever. So when friends were asking me what I did, I just was like, yeah, I'm in VIP hanging out, and then I drive off after a fight in the club. No big deal. And I'm actually on a flight coming back to Atlanta as this episode is airing. So it's not till I land that my phone is blowing up, and I'm getting all these screenshots of Twitter posts about the invisible car. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And then I watched the episode. And I'm like, oh, that's funny as shit. That is funny as shit. They had this to make sense to me. The Toyota Corolla makes sense to me now.
Right.
I'm just realizing that everything with the Toyota Corolla was before this, and they didn't explain that. Oh my god!
Yeah, they didn't explain anything to me. It literally, that was the first day of set. I talked to Donald and everything. He was one of the first people I met on set. Cool guy. We talked. We discussed wardrobe options. He liked what I had on. We pulled up to a little, maybe 30 feet away from the club. It was just me, Hero, Donald, and a few other guys. And it just like posed against this Toyota Corolla like you're promoting it. And I was just, in my head, I was like, what the fuck? But, of course, I'm happy to be here. Let's do it. Smiling. And we probably took maybe about 50 different pictures, 50 different poses. And then they were like, okay, cool. And in my head, I'm just like, what is going on?
Oh man, that's
Insert invisible
even
car.
better.
Even better, because I literally had no idea.
I thought it was like you knew it was going to be an invisible car, but you're like, man, it's kind of hard to get in that mind space when the car I am leaning against is a Toyota Corolla. But that makes it so much funnier.
I just was like, I was thinking like, man, this is gonna look stupid. No, I must be in the Atlanta Hawks G League if I'm driving a Corolla. Like, that doesn't even make any sense to me.
You get signed like yesterday if you're promoting that Corolla.
Right. Oh, that's so great, man. This is so great. Jason, I imagine again, you do this a lot with your friends when they're like over, and like if the episode comes on, you're like, bro, here's some trivia that's not on IMDb. Let me tell you something, Great.
Most of my friends who are not in the industry at all, they want to know, industry things. They've heard that story time and time again, but they want to know, how long did it take to film this scene? What is Donald Glover like in real life? Is Lakeith Stanfield cool? Is he weird like he is on Instagram? Stuff like that.
You're like, yes to all of that.
Yes, it's all
quickly, man, let's get your thoughts on season 3 upcoming, man. Any sort of predictions or any sort of like things you'd like to see coming out of this season?
It's just it's wild to me that it's been so long since season 2. Because everyone just kind of really blew up. Zazie did Joker and Deadpool, and Donald did Lion King and Solo, and then Brian is everywhere. Lakeith is everywhere. Like, Brian is literally everywhere.
Brian's the best part of Eternals.
Yeah, Brian is literally everywhere. So it's cool. It's dope to me just thinking about how they've all grown as actors. And they're going to be in Europe now. So it kind of drastically changes the dynamic of the show, because it's supposed to be Atlanta, and now they're in Europe, at least for season 3 or parts of season 3. So I feel like Paperboy being outside of this, hood element, now he's going to see what it's like to be some type of international star. Now he's going to see like the limelight, and maybe it'll get to him to a point where he'll maybe start changing, but not for the good, more so becoming like, maybe not on this grand scale, but something like a Kanye West. Like he's going to start letting it get to his head. And Earn's going to have to be the one to pull him back down to earth. And maybe Earn himself is going to be, because he's accustomed to having nothing. So maybe, it's going to affect him in a bad way as well. He's going to have to pull Paperboy back down to earth, but at the same time, he's going to be kind of floating on too, because, I don't even remember what Zaz's character's name. Van's going to be there as well. So it's going to be this whole big thing. I feel like Darius is going to be the only constant. He's going to be exactly like he is all the time. He's unfazed by everything, and reality's just an illusion. I feel like he's going to have the time in his life. We're going to get a lot of quotables from Darius throughout this season.
Yes.
Much like always. It's so great.
He's on shit again.
Yeah. I would just love for it to be like, I would love for half the season for them to be in Europe, and Paperboy is just seeing what it's like, this international fame, and then to come home and he's still the same Paperboy. Like in terms of the community, is just they don't treat him like any differently than when he left. That would be such a blow to his ego, but maybe some type of character driven moment to get him to like, oh shit, I thought I was the shit, but I'm still the same.
I'm still the same
guy.
Paperboy.
Still the same Paperboy. So that would be dope to see that if
That'd
they do
be
it
good.
in that direction.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. As we round this out, Jeff, Terry, any other questions for Jason before we bounce out of here?
No more questions, but just thanks again, man. It's always so much fun talking to you.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. We love the insight. We love all the little things that we always just had weird questions for, and to always get somebody that can just answer that stuff for us. It's just
Right.
like, a treat and a blessing.
I definitely
man.
appreciate it. I have fun talking about this episode, and even when we did the last time when we did the holiday, when we reviewed the holiday.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy,
that was
I
good.
enjoy you guys. I enjoy you guys' podcasts. You guys have insightful stuff, and it's cool to listen to. Some podcasts you have to actually like zone in and listen to everything. You guys is more chill. It's fun. It's a fun podcast. It's a fun time. It's not work. It's not work, so to speak.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
none of
Yeah,
us
no
like
scripts
working, so yeah, we love it. Well, Jason, I appreciate you coming on, man. Go ahead and shout yourself out where people can follow you on social media if they want to reach out to the real Marcus Miles. Where can people find you, man?
My name right there, Always Focused. That is my Instagram and my Snapchat handle. You can DM me. I do respond to DMs. You'd be surprised that after Atlanta, how many people DM, or when they see the episode, they DM me and they ask me to get their music to Donald. And I'm just like, I can't help you with that one, buddy. I'm trying to get to it myself. But you can hit me at Always Focus. Like I said, currently, if you signed up for Caffeine.tv, the app, you will see me in the World Series of Spades. And if you go to Lighthawk Studios, you will also see me in a show called Nagging Rights. Those are the two projects that I'm currently on that I just
nice.
recently wrapped. So you can check me out on those. Those are both free, so I'm not charging anything. Caffeine.tv, World Series of Spades, and watch.lighthawk.studio to see me on Nagging Rights. Check those things out, and then I got my own projects that I'm going to drop later this year.
Perfect, man. And yeah, everybody, reach out to Jason. That's how I got him on the show in the first place 2 years ago. I just want to let y'all know that.
Just
He's pretty-
we talked, and boom, that was it.
He's pretty good at conversing. Just want to let y'all know. Jason, I appreciate you, man. Terry, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you?
Always on my Instagram at Terry F Photos, but definitely check out balleratx.com right now if you're in the Austin area for all the free events to get into during South by Southwest right now.
For sure. Jeff, where can people find you?
You can try finding me, Jeff Madel, on Facebook. And if you're out and about during South by and you find yourself on South Congress, next couple of days, go visit the Guero's Taco Bar. I'll be selling some celebrity prayer candles. Hey, Blake, where can people find you?
Oh, thought you'd never ask. You can find me, Money Blake Weather, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. You can follow, most importantly, the podcast, Unfiltered Bachelor, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or you can follow it on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are. That's where the show is. People, we look forward to seeing you next week because next Thursday, we will be breaking down the first 2 episodes of Atlanta Season 3. We're just going to call it Atlanta Europe. I don't know if that makes sense, but Atlanta Europe. We're going to be breaking it down. I'm titling Season 3.
Amsterdam?
Atlanterdam? Yeah, Atlanterdam.
That might be better.
Yeah, so tune in for that next week. We're going to be going live on Facebook. So we look forward to seeing everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're really re-listening to this. Have a good rest of the week. And until the next time, we will see you.